This is the story of Zephyra. No one in the galaxy remembered Earth. Once it had been a beacon. The name was spoken with awe and fear in every corner of the stars. But that was a long time ago. Rals's mother was gone, taken by the council for questioning too many times. Her father worked himself into silence, afraid of what might happen if he drew attention. Ralsa grew up fast, working as an engineer to keep her family afloat, watching Zephyra's gleaming towers from the shadows, and never speaking the old stories aloud. Zephyra looked beautiful from above. Mirrored towers, plazas that shimmered in the light, orderly rows of trees and fountains. But on the ground, it was a city of fear. Draken enforcers patrolled every street. Drones hovered, listening for seditious words. The people learned to keep their heads down, never question, never hope for more than survival. People had built wonders and crossed impossible distances. But their stories faded as centuries passed. The Council of Species quietly erased Earth from memory. Ralsa fixed broken water mains, her hands stained and aching. Her little brother, only 10, waited for her in the window every night, clutching the last photograph of their family. Neither of them expected anything would ever change. Then just before dusk, the sound began, a low, impossible thunder that made every building shudder. Lights flickered. People paused in the streets, faces turning upward. The sky glowed orange and purple, then tore itself apart as ships poured out of the clouds, thousands burning blue in the fading sun. Panic spread like wildfire, alarms screamed. Zephyra's defenses activated, railguns and plasma turrets swiveling skyward. On the Citadel balcony, Governor Fail barked orders at his advisors. Who are they? Where did they come from? No one knew. The ships were like nothing in council records, sleek, marked with a silver and blue emblem, moving in tight, perfect formation. Within minutes, the first ships landed in Zephyra's central plaza. The crowds pressed back, terrified. Armored figures stepped from the ships, tall and silent, faces hidden behind mirrored helmets. Their armor shimmered with a soft blue light and bore symbols no one recognized, except perhaps the oldest among them, who wept as they watched. Commander Wayne, Chief of City Security, shouted through the comms, "Identify yourselves. This is Sovereign Council territory. Surrender or be destroyed." Those words echoed across the city, and the turrets hummed, ready to fire. The newcomers didn't respond. They marched in silence to the foot of the Citadel steps, hands open and empty, armor gleaming as if they had nothing to fear. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Ralsa and her brother watched from a rooftop, their hearts pounding. She felt deep down that something impossible was about to happen. Every screen in Zephyra flickered, then flashed with a symbol. 2 hands clasped together, circled by a halo of stars, the old sign of Earth. The crowds murmured in confusion and awe. And then a voice, calm and clear, spoke in every language of the city. "We are the children of Earth. We have come not to conquer, but to bring truth." People froze. Old ones wept. Some knelt in the streets, whispering prayers long forgotten. In the Citadel, Fail's advisors panicked, demanding the guns be fired. But every attempt to launch the city's defenses failed. The old Earth technology built into Zephyra's heart, scavenged and modified by Draken engineers, refused to obey. The city recognized its own. It's desperate to prove himself. A sniper fired from a rooftop, the shot aimed at the lead human's chest. The bullet struck armor, flashed blue, and fell harmless to the ground. The human didn't even flinch. He looked up at the sniper, raised a hand, and said only, "Not tonight. We are not your enemy." On every screen, files spilled out evidence of council crimes. Governor Fail's secret betrayals, the names of the disappeared. The truth spread faster than fear, and the crowd erupted, some in rage, some in hope, all in disbelief. Governor Fail screamed for action, but his own guards hesitated. Soldiers and citizens alike were swept up in the tidal wave of revelation. High above, the council fleet arrived, enormous dreadnoughts looming over the city. A message crackled through every channel, the council's voice thunderous and cold. Earth is forbidden. Surrender or be destroyed. The leader of the Earthborn Liarden, face scarred and eyes ancient with memory, walked to the front of his people. "We will not run. We do not raise weapons. But we will not abandon the innocent. If you must fire, know that we will stand as shields." Terra Wynn, his second in command, activated a shimmering blue barrier around the plaza, deflecting a barrage of energy bolts and plasma fire. The Council's weapons powered up, targeting not just the humans, but everyone in Zephyra. The first shot fired a beam of energy that lit the night and shattered windows for miles. But the barrier held, blue light rippling over the crowd. The people gasped, some cheered. The humans stood motionless, determined and calm. The Council grew furious. More shots rained down. All through the night, the shield held fed by the old city core, pulsing with the will of the people and the resolve of the returned legends. Below, the city was a sea of chaos, some running, some fighting, many simply watching, unable to turn away. Ralza found herself swept into the center of the square, her brother beside her. She saw a human soldier tend a wounded city guard. She saw Terra comfort a terrified child, removing her helmet and smiling through exhaustion. "We are here for you," Terra said softly. "Earth is not a place, it's a promise." As the hours passed, the people of Zephyra began to change. Old divisions fell away. Neighbors who'd never spoken shared food and water. Guards laid down their guns and stood between the people and the Council. Fear was still there, but something deeper took hold. Unity. Governor Fail tried to flee the citadel, only to be stopped by his own guards. They dragged him out onto the steps, the crowd howling for justice. For the first time in his life, Fail looked out over Zephyra and saw not subjects, but people angry, hopeful, and no longer under his control. As dawn approached, the Council prepared their final weapon A-beam that would obliterate not just the city, but the Earthborn and every witness to what had happened. In orbit, Council admirals argued, but the order came down. Make an example of them. Eli Arden turned to his people. "This is the moment we came for, not to conquer, but to show what courage looks like." He raised his hands and every human in the square did the same, channeling energy into the shield. The beam fired. The world held its breath. The shield blazed, brighter than 100 suns, absorbing the impossible force, then redirecting it harmlessly into the sky. For a heartbeat, everything was silent. Then slowly, the Council ships began to withdraw, their power broken, their threat empty. All across Draco's Across, 100 worlds news of Zephyra's rebellion spread. People everywhere remembered the old stories, and the legend grew stronger with each retelling. In the aftermath, Zephyra's people poured into the streets. Some wept, others sang. Families reunited. Ralza hugged her brother, tears streaming down her face, hardly believing they were still alive. She looked up and saw Eli and Terra standing among the people, battered but unbroken. "You gave us hope," Ralza said, her voice trembling. Eli smiled, lines of exhaustion and relief on his face. "You already had it. We just reminded you." Terra turned to the crowd, her voice steady but gentle. "Earth is not just a world. It is every heart that chooses hope. Every city that stands together. You are Earth now. Zephyra would never be the same." Governor Fail was put on trial, his crimes exposed for all to see. Old enemies shook hands. Children played in streets that had only ever known fear. The blue shield, powered down at last, left behind a city ready to rebuild. News of Zephyra's stand swept the galaxy. Other worlds, seeing what was possible, began to rise. Council governors saw their power slip away. Ships bearing the old Earth sigil appeared wherever hope was most fragile and wherever darkness returned. As the human fleet prepared to depart, history lessons became warnings. Maps were changed. In time, even dreamers stopped believing in the lost blue world. Earth became a myth, a whisper, a dangerous idea for those who dared hope. Yet on Draco's, in the city of Zephyra, the myth lingered like a spark in the dark. Ralza remembered the stories her mother told her as a child, stories of a people who never gave up, who would one day return when the galaxy needed them most. The day the sky broke open began like any other,